Hi, everyone. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm George,
And I'm JPatt.
and you're listening to the Box Officers Podcast. Please leave a starred review wherever you're listening to this podcast.
Watching a bad movie is like witnessing a crime, but have no fear. The box offices are here. We're going to review this movie, Superman, and dissect it and judge it based off of how well it did and based off the severity of punishment. Yep.
Yes. So
I'm reading
films can
without a
be
script here.
convicted. I'm done. Films can be convicted of a felony, a misdemeanor, an infraction, or on the rare occasion found innocent. So this week we are reviewing the movie Superman. If you haven't seen it, you're going to want to pause this episode because we're going to spoil it. But otherwise, we can get into the episode. Are you guys like fans of the other Superman movies, Man of Steel, things like that?
Yeah. I think Man of Steel
Yeah,
was my favorite movie for a while.
yeah, I
Yeah.
like
Wow.
the other
Okay.
Superman movies, and I love
Yeah.
Henry Cavill, so I don't know if I
Well,
like the
yes,
movie
of
or
course.
him.
It's hard to tell. They put us in a tough spot.
Yeah,
Very relatable. But I thought that, going into it, I've always seen like the DC superheroes as like, okay. I mean,
Hmm.
outside of like Superman and Batman, because I think that they're like great. But outside of that, I'm kind of like normally unmoved. But I went in open minded, um,
Yeah.
like not excited, but open minded, I guess.
Yeah. I think most of my
Um,
excitement for it came from just the extended cast, characters that I hadn't seen in DC movies before. So that's why I was like, okay, I'm kind of excited to see them live action. But
yeah,
sure.
Superman has been, I feel like Superman has been tried again and again so much that I was just kind of like, he's not the main character I'm looking at in this film. So
yeah. I was interested to see like how they're gonna like, I guess, refresh it, or if it was gonna be like the same thing, but like I don't know,
yeah.
2025. So yeah, I was interested in seeing it for sure because I actually like DC. I like Aquaman. So
Okay.
oh,
Yeah.
no
I,
negatives going in, I guess I would say.
I never saw the second one. Yeah. The second Aquaman, I never saw it.
Nobody did. Nobody
Oh,
did.
really?
No,
Was it
I don't know.
bad or was it just
I
like,
don't know.
oh, you don't know?
I don't think anyone cared,
Yeah,
truthfully. I,
that's
I hate
fine.
to say it, but
Yeah.
yeah. So speaking of like Henry Cavill, how did we feel about the recast? Not even recast, like the casting,
Uh-huh.
or not just of Superman, but all the characters, Lois, all of the things.
I think David did great. I think he was a great Superman. And I feel like his Superman kind of captures Superman in his youth in a way. Like he doesn't
Yeah, it
feel,
did give that.
Sure.
It
yeah.
gave very
I
like
like that.
youthful, very not naive, but like more not in, I guess innocent or less experienced a little bit.
Hmm.
I would say
Sure.
that I think he did good, honestly. Like I feel like those were big shoes to fill because it's like Superman, like he is the superhero like of all time. So it's just kind of like he had big shoes to fill, and I feel like he did. I think he did good in my opinion.
Yeah.
I also agree. I think that that's super hard to. I wouldn't even audition for like I don't know. I feel like I'd be scared to even
No.
Right?
try to do something like that. You know?
It's super hard because it's like a legacy role,
Yeah.
especially with,
Yeah.
and then I mean you have Henry Cavill, who was the last Superman, and then you have all of these legendary actors that came before you. It's almost as if you know how James Bond is a legacy role. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like so, the next James Bond, whoever they cast to be him, he's going to be put in a tough spot. So I think that was the same situation for this.
I agree, and I think there
Yeah.
were a lot of shoes to be filled. You have like Lois Lane, you have
Hmm.
Mr. Terrific, You have all these crazy Green Lantern, all these people.
Yeah.
We even got that little cameo at the end, Supergirl. They dropped that
Yeah.
in there.
Right. Just
There's a lot
bomb.
going on.
Just a big old bomb
Yeah.
drop. I'm like, Supergirl, where were
Yeah.
you the whole time? Like, one,
Literally.
she
She
came back
said that she was
drunk.
drunk.
Yeah, she came back
Yeah.
drunk. uh,
I
yeah,
thought that
but
everyone did great though.
Yeah.
that's a great cast. I think James Gunn.
Sorry.
What's up?
Yeah, for sure. But I
Yeah.
forgot Lex Luthor. Sorry. That's a big one.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
He did good in his role
Yeah,
too.
he did good, honestly.
He actually
Nicholas
made you
ate
hate him.
that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I didn't know how to feel in the trailers. Like I was kind of like this looks weird, but I think in the actual film it like was really good placing. Like he did really good. And I already like him as an actor, so
I
Yeah.
was gonna say I was somewhat biased in his favor because I already think so highly of Nicholas as an actor. Rachel did great as Lois Lane. I feel like they
Hmm.
had good chemistry. There's just a lot to appreciate here. Eddie Gathegi, I thought
Uh-huh.
he did great as Mr. Terrific. But
Favorite part of it.
yeah. So what else did we? I agree. I think that was like a very
Yeah.
if they want to give him his own solo movie, I'm gonna allow it. I'm here for it. He has my
Yeah,
support. I
definitely.
thought he did
I would watch it.
epic.
Like that one little fight
Yeah,
scene. I I could watch. I'd watch it again just to see that one little fight scene. I feel like they should have done more with him, but I guess that was enough in that one scene of him
Yeah.
taking on taking on that
I
small army.
Yeah, they created a space for him to definitely have his own like movie for sure, which I feel like they did for a lot of characters. Like even
Hmm.
like Lantern, for example. Like I feel like people kind of not forgot. I guess he was like big like in the early 2000s. Like there was definitely a few, but I feel like they definitely like
Yeah,
reinvigorated like the fan base and like okay, what's next for this character? So I think they did good in like placing important characters because I feel like that's something that Marvel does really good.
placing important
yeah. They're
characters. So I
gonna
guess yeah,
Easter egg it kind of like ease you into this. So I thought that was great too.
yeah.
How do you guys feel? I thought like something that I liked. It just looked really fun, and it looked like a comic book. Like it was super colorful, and like the cinematography of it, I thought was really cool as well. What do you guys think?
I think that was a great way to go with it because, people know DC movies for being all dark and serious, or DC Comics, I guess. It's like you got
Yeah,
Marvel,
that's
it's
true.
more of the light-hearted comedy, it has its serious moments, but then you have DC and it's more of the Batman vibe, the dark lighting, you know, um, and that I guess after the Dark Knight, they just started adopting that into all of their movies. That's what it seemed like.
Sure,
Um, but I liked the fresh comic book vibe they gave it. It was like a nice.
sure,
It almost felt like it was set in the '60s, but at the same time, it was vibrant, or set in the '70s, but it was vibrant. Like if you just take a look at the architecture, or if you take a look at like how they furnished the rooms, the file cabinets and Daily Planet, what people were wearing, it was futuristic, but at the same time, it was '60s, '70s ish. So, or
yeah.
yeah, so ripped right
I
out
get
of
it. It's
yeah.
like out of a comic book. Yeah.
It was retro. It felt retro. That's the best way to explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the word. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I love the Daily Planet, by the way, because it does feel very retro to me, and it's just like, oh my gosh, look at these people running around. Like, I wish I was a
yeah.
journalist. Well, is this journalism what we're doing? I feel like this is a
Yeah,
form of
I feel
journalism,
like it's
right?
yeah.
Right.
This would definitely could be in
I'm
the
a
paper.
journalist. I should have called this the Daily Planet. Like that should have been the name of the podcast. It's just such a vibe. I love it. It makes me want to put on a suit and like type. I forgot what movie we were talking about. I think we were talking about F1. We were talking about the cinematography and how it felt like you were like zipping through the courses and stuff like
Hmm.
that. I kind of had some of that feeling here. I think there were some real, especially in the second half, very cool cinematography, some cool things going on. I liked it.
Yeah. one thing I did
Like
really
I
like
like
about the go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think I like when you're shooting superheroes and it's someone like Superman who's doing everything like on this grand scale, how you shoot it is really important. And we need to
Hmm.
feel like we can follow the magnitude of what he's doing. So I feel like the cinematography translated his power like well.
Yeah. And I was gonna say there are two things I liked. One is kind of like how the pacing, how the movie started, and then two is I guess the universe to it. Because like if you watch like Saturday morning cartoons or something like that, or if you were just popping open a comic book, um, they didn't treat like each kind of creature or villain that showed up as its standalone, like this is the big baddie of the universe. Like it seemed like in Metropolis, they're fighting these huge monsters every other day, you know. And I liked that it kind of had, they took that cartoonish effect out of the comics or cartoons, where it's like, okay, yeah, Metropolis, we're going to have this big cosmic being to fight. And then next week, we're going to have this big lizard dragon to fight. You know, it felt like it was ripped right out of the comics. And then I
Yeah.
liked in the beginning of the movie how it wasn't an origin story or anything. It felt like you were being dropped in to the middle of a season of a show. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like this fight just happened 3 hours ago, 3 minutes ago. Superman just lost and he comes crashing in, and you're catching up with everything that's been going on, but it doesn't feel like the same old origin story that you run into time and time again, explaining who Superman is and this and that, and explaining who Crypto is, or even explaining who Supergirl is. You know, you see Supergirl walk in at the end, but you know that's Supergirl. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, that we're not doing this. We're not going through the whole story again. We're gonna like dive into the details. You know, show stuff that people haven't seen before.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
they
I
definitely
think
were smart to do that because like I feel like we said, like he's like a classic character. Like everybody knows like basically everyone
Hmm.
knows his origin
Yeah.
story. So I feel like they took like a more like moral, like emotional, I guess like his state of mind and stuff. Which I feel like they did do that in the Man of Steel movie, but I feel like they focused on it more in this one for sure. And I think that was a good like take on it too, because it just gave us a different perspective rather than looking at the same storyline all the time.
I feel like it was a lot to like about it, but unfortunately, I would have to ask, like, is there anything we weren't digging about it?
Yeah. I think there were some parts of the movie where maybe the humor was a bit cringe, or maybe
Sure.
the pacing just felt a little bit off. And then it kind of
Okay.
like just ticked me off a little bit. I might have been just hyper analyzing in the moment. Um, but overall, I'd say like 70% of the movie wasn't like that. But then you had there were its moments when I'm like, you know, that could have been a better joke, or the transition could have been better. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, do you guys relate? You guys can kind of feel what I'm saying or no?
Yeah, I think that's like I think almost every DC movie. I don't think
Uh-huh.
I've been through a full movie without it. Like it's just like maybe I'm not the audience. That's
Yeah,
what I like chalk it up to. Like
Yeah.
it's like
yeah.
you can't make everybody laugh at everything. So it's just like I feel like they do have pretty mild humor. So it's just like, okay, like I'm
Hmm.
just gonna ignore that. So I definitely do agree with you with that. But I think I don't really like fault it. It's just like you can't make everybody laugh at everything. So
Yeah. I wish I could give an example, but yeah, you're right in that aspect. Um, but I think there was, I think one other thing I didn't like was what's that? I didn't like how much. Maybe it's just me having a dog, but I didn't like how much Crypto got on my nerves. It got to a point where
He was a
you had to
bad
Crypto,
be so nice
dog. He
about
was a
it.
bad
Yeah.
dog.
yeah,
I was just
he,
like, okay,
He
like
had a
I know we like dogs as a society, but like it's
yeah.
to a point where like this is like it's the Baby Yoda thing they trying to do. I swear they trying to sell some merch, like so they always need this little animal or something to like do something. It's just like, bro, like it has to be purposeful or it feels forced. And I feel like it definitely gave force because like I
Uh,
mean maybe I'm a cat person, so I don't know.
well, in my
No, he
opinion,
had
like
behavioral issues for sure. He
yeah,
had
like
behavioral
Crypto,
issues for sure.
he's a bad dog for sure. But it got to a point where I'm like, okay, Crypto, like please be a good thought for once. Like, come clutch. Like, my dog can be bad too, but sometimes she'll do
Yeah,
something
I've
really
met her.
some. Sometimes she'll do something really cute. She'll do something really, like adorable or really like, oh, this is why I still have you, and it'll remind me like, okay, yeah, this is my dog. But Crypto, he just kept getting on my nerves. I'm like, we're not playing around, Crypto. Like, lock in, lock in. So I think they had moments where that worked, and then they had moments where it was just like dragged. Especially that part they almost fell into the black hole, and you got Crypto still playing around. Like, Crypto, are you not scared of this massive black hole in front of us? Pull us out. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's the most I can say about that. Yeah, they just overdid it with Crypto's naughtiness.
Naughty, naughty boy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Did you feel like the movie was like a good runtime, or did you feel like, oh, this could have been shorter, or oh, I could have stopped for more?
Oh no, no, I feel like it was like right there, like right perfect runtime. Because I remember I started watching it. Movie started maybe around like 2:15, and it was over by like 4. So and it didn't. It felt like a good 2 hours. Like, there were points in the movie
Yeah.
where I thought that they were gonna wrap something up, but then I'm like, oh, I forgot about this crisis going on, or um, they even wrapped it up in a way that was just kind of like what's the word? I don't know. It was cute. It was nice. Um, you got to see Supergirl pop up. You got to see Superman, surrounded by family photos and memories and all of that. So I think they wrapped it up nicely in a decent amount of time. I don't think it was dragged out. But you feel differently, or no? It was a good
For
time.
once, I don't.
Yeah,
For once, I don't.
yeah.
I thought that it was a really good runtime. You're right. It was about 2 hours, so it was the runtime was 129 minutes, and I feel like that
Hmm.
was appropriate. And I feel like they used every minute purposefully. That's all I ask for. Like, I don't mind a long movie, but don't have me just sitting
Right.
there
Yeah, for no
listening to
reason.
and yeah
Yeah.
for no reason. So I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
And I
I
did
think they
like
did
that
give us
there
like all the
was.
closure we needed too. So that was like good with all the like pop ups and things. And they didn't go too off track on the plot either. So yeah, I think it was good on
Yeah.
runtime.
And I also think that it didn't really care too much about trying to set up a whole sequel. Like, Superman saves
Facts.
the day,
Yeah.
Lex Luthor goes to jail. Even the end credits, if you stay past the credits, it's just Superman and his dog like looking at the world, and it's like it leaves you with I don't know, it leaves you with a happy moment, and then you're like, yeah, that's
Am I
Superman.
tripping?
Like,
I thought
what's
that
up?
the end credit was um oh, you're talking about the first. Okay, so there were two post credit scenes.
Oh, really? Okay,
That yeah, and then if you stay, so that was like a mid credit scene. But then if you
okay.
kept staying until the very end, like, okay, they're starting to sweep
Oh,
around my feet, there was
yeah,
another one, and basically it was Mr. Terrific and Superman, and they were looking at, like, when the building, when the earth like came back together, and it was like that
yeah,
crack down, like the city, one
yeah,
of the buildings wasn't put back together perfectly, and Superman kind of looked at him like, you gonna fix it? Or and Mr. Terrific was like, wow, I can't do anything around here, like, like
yeah,
fussing, and that was it. And it was literally just like, I don't even think it was a 60-second, like, it was 20 seconds of them just like having a moment, and Superman was like, okay, I'm sorry, like, you did a great job,
yeah,
I'm not upset, like. And it was just cute to see their dynamic. But I also think,
yeah,
like, it's interesting because a lot of times, like, you watch a Marvel movie and they're using those moments post credit to kind of like promote something else, or a sequel, or
hmm,
I don't know, something, anything, literally. And this was
yeah,
literally like, nope, we're just gonna have a good time. And I think it's refreshing that they were just saying, hey, this project's great, we liked it, we're having fun. If you want us to do it again, maybe, but we concluded this story. I felt like I read a book. I opened the book, I got to see start to finish, I got a conclusion, I closed the book. And so if we don't get a sequel, I still feel like complete watching this. And I like that.
yeah, yeah. Not like that, especially if the movie was good by itself. Because sometimes
Yeah.
I, yeah, I won't like it if a movie has me like wishing for more or like feeling like something was left out. So I'm like, now I'm hoping there's a sequel. I feel as if a movie's just good by itself, then that's like just like a little timeless movie. So it could be a good standalone film, you know.
I would say that this is like the opposite. What was the movie, the Marvel movie with all the people in it, the new Avengers movie, the Thunderbolts?
Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel like this is like the opposite of that, where like they were actually trying to set up like such a huge thing, and I feel like here they were just trying to tell us a story that they also knew that we
Yes.
knew. And so it's like it's either A, you can like try to set this up for a bigger thing, or you just retell the
Hmm.
story with a new, fresh perspective. So I feel like they definitely took the latter on that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I think that's smart because
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's smart because I feel like each movie can be its own story in itself. Superman does this, Superman does that, Superman does this, and it's not always depending on the movie beforehand to set up this long, expanded story like Marvel does. Now, Marvel did that perfectly for a while, with the first few arcs of its story, and then it ended with Endgame. But I feel like they've been trying to do that, and then ever since Endgame, it hasn't always kind of like clicked together. But
I
I
agree.
think with I think with them trying to rebuild DC, they need to. James Gunn is probably just focusing on having good standalone films instead of trying to make a whole universe out of it.
Yeah,
That probably be the best. That's probably the best strategy instead of trying to make
yeah.
a extended plot where you have to go back to this movie to understand what's going on here, and there's a little Easter egg here, and then you have to go to this series on the TV to understand this movie. He's just like, okay, we're gonna make an amazing Superman movie, get our money, and do whatever we want with that, you know. So I like
right.
that
Which
strategy
is
for
smart.
DC because yeah, DC was dying for a little bit. I feel like DC was like right on the tipping point of like not going anywhere. But that's why they brought James Gunn in. And he did a good job with this. Also,
For sure.
I'm yapping, but I'm not sure if
No, these
you,
are good points
yeah,
though.
yeah. Near the end of the movie, James Gunn he put his own little personal twist on it again. I'm sure y'all have watched. Wait, is he the one who made Guardians of the Galaxy movies?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, okay. I was thinking about Wahiti or something. Um, but at the end of the movie, when the robot starts dancing, you have some music playing, and then you have Superman looking at all his memories and stuff. I'm like, it reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy because I think it was like at the end of every Guardians of the Galaxy movie, they start doing a little dance. Like how y'all remember had
Hmm.
Baby Groot was doing his
Oh
dance in
yeah,
that one
Groot.
movie.
I
Yeah, you're
love Baby
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Groot.
I remember now. Yeah, you're
yeah.
right.
So that's what that music at the end reminded me of. I'm like, this feels like the ending to Guardians of the Galaxy. So that was cool to
Yeah.
me.
That's a good connection.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't have any other complaints. Was there anything on or if you wanted to get to this part, the like any complaints from Twitter that you saw that seemed valid?
Actually, like, it was a lot of mixed in things. I will say
Yeah.
I don't have a direct tweet for it, but something that I saw a lot was complaining about the CGI. I don't know how you guys feel, but that would be one of my only and probably one of my biggest complaints. I do love a practical set. And there was a lot
Okay.
of CGI here, like a lot. And I'm not gonna say it
Yeah.
was bad, but I don't eat it up. I don't, you know, it's not my favorite.
I thought it was because of that like comic book effect they all said, which I'm not a huge fan of. It's just like, okay, like they do the same, like I don't like that effect personally. I like the Dark Knight, like Man of Steel, like a more realistic one. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I was like, I mean, if it's gonna be a comic book, then I you kind of need the CGI, don't you? Like to make it like,
Sure.
or it's
In
gonna
my
look
Yeah.
too
opinion,
realistic.
yeah.
It will look like too realistic then. So it's like I don't know how to feel, but
This was very different. It was a fun movie, and so I took it
yeah,
for that. Like, okay, this is not the same as other
exactly.
superhero movies I watch. I'm just here to have a good time, hear a story, and I'm going to listen to the story and I'm going to absorb it, and then I'm going to close the book. Some people liked that it had like a political kind of undertone. Some people didn't like it. So I think it just depends on the
Yeah,
person. But there were definitely some more positive things. I think something that we all agreed on earlier that was tweeted that Camera and Superman was doing stuff you would not believe in the third act. I was so probably staring at the screen with my mouth open, but I can't remember. Gotta see it again ASAP. Again, the camera work was great. I don't think anyone's gonna
yeah,
argue that.
it was really good. I liked how they used the camera work in the fights. You know, it wasn't just focused on them fighting. It was like if I throw a punch, the camera's gonna kind of like move with that. That's what I noticed from the camera work. So
Yeah, it was
yeah, I
really
agree with that
dynamic.
tweet.
And I think something else that we all kind of agreed on. I don't know if you guys watched any of the X-Men movies. Um, I don't. I love them.
I
I don't know about
did.
you
I
guys.
haven't seen him in a while. I
Okay.
haven't seen him in a while though. Yeah.
So Eddie Gathegi was in that
Oh yeah,
X-Men,
first
and
class. Yeah.
yeah, and we know
Yeah.
what happened to him there. And
Yeah. This
so
redeemed
I
him
can
for real.
understand. Yeah, so I can understand like having a little hesitancy or whatever, but I think he was extremely well received. Someone
Yeah.
tweeted Eddie Gathegi was given a second chance to play the superhero he was always meant to be, and he crushed it. Totally agree. I feel like, I hate to see someone go down after something like X-Men First
Right.
Class, you know what I mean? And that was ages ago.
Yeah.
So I thought that this was like a little redemption moment. And
Hmm.
I don't even fault him for X-Men First Class, by the way. I'm just saying,
Nah.
like, of course, he was way better received here. And I think that's
Yeah.
awesome that he's getting his
Yeah.
flowers.
I think he said that he even thought that he was going to be brought back at some point in the X-Men franchise. But after he wasn't cast for X-Men Apocalypse, I actually think they told him that they were going to bring him back. But like after he wasn't cast for X-Men Apocalypse, that's when he like knew it was over, you know. So I was like, dang, I kind of feel
Yeah,
bad for him.
he had
Yeah.
kind of voiced concerns also about, like, you guys always killing off the black character first kind of thing. I think there was
Right. Right. I'm like,
a thing about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
You got
So
all these
I'm
other
really glad that,
characters. You know, his character is
yeah.
literally the one that can adapt to anything. But you have all these other characters, like what? One of them shoots little laser beams from his chest. You can't kill him. You know, that's easy to kill. But I guess they just, they went with that black guy trope, even though it'd been played out at that point.
Yeah. Extremely.
Yeah.
But, in 2025, people are not playing around. And so I'm really
Yeah.
glad that he was able to have his moment. And I would love to see a Mr. Terrific film. I think it would be so great. And I think they set him
Hmm.
up really well to, like, have some longevity here.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if, yeah, I mean, if they have him pulling off fight scenes like that, then I'm definitely gonna have to see that. Yeah. Mm,
Yeah.
They
And I
should
have, like,
they should
one
take the
more.
audiences.
I think they will. I think they will for
Yeah.
sure. There was like so much, like half of the feedback online is about him. So I think that that's gonna go really
Hmm.
far. Depending on how this performs this opening weekend, which kind of goes into the next thing. Someone said when Superman drops on HBO Max and I get to watch the Batman and Superman and pretend like they're in the same universe. I think that's so cute. I love the Batman. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Robert Pattinson did his biggest one, and I can see the
he
where we're
did.
going. We DC kind of fell down here, and now we're kind of like slowly climbing up. And unfortunately, in the eyes of some people, Marvel is kind of on the decline. So this is a very interesting like season that we're in for superheroes.
And we forgot
Yeah.
about the penguin. The penguin was good.
Oh yeah, Penguin was great. That was a great series.
Right. Yeah. There's a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah. So much potential here for that, like, franchise and for Superman specifically. But I guess the
Hmm.
question would be how much potential dun, dun, justice needs to be served.
Really? Yeah.
Justice needs to be served. I said that because Justice League is what I was trying to like make a quick pun, but
Uh,
I wasn't quick. Like, was it? I
I
wasn't
was
doing
don't
it
you
like,
mean
right.
Don't
Judge
you mean Justice
Judy.
Gang?
Yeah,
Yeah, Justice
but what are
Gang.
y'all's like? Where are you rating this? Like, give me your thing.
Honestly, I think I'd give it a very small infraction. Very small. It was close to perfect for me. Like I gave it an 8 out of 10. So I'd give it a very small infraction. And I've never really been a big Superman fan. I've never really been a big DC fan either. But as for Superman, I feel like he's just kind of like the base superhero, super strength, super flight, whatever. So he's never been like too interesting to me, but this movie kind of changed that, you know. It showed his super strength, his flight, his lasers, it showed him fighting a bunch of flying guys, I like that part where they all jumped on him and he like spun them off like a little ball. Do you remember that in the movie? They kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
I did like that part, and I'm like, yeah, he boxing. He actually, I feel like it was the best fight we've seen from Superman so far. I don't remember Man of Steel having a more, you know, uh, dynamic type of fight, but I'll give it a small infraction. What about you, Georgette? What about you? Since last
Yeah,
time,
I actually agree with you. I think it's
yeah,
a
okay,
small
okay, okay,
infraction too. Yeah.
yeah,
I what I liked about this was they made him more human compared to the other Man of Steel. I feel like sometimes they made him a little robotic in maybe the other movies.
definitely
Like he's an alien,
super
like okay, we get it,
serious,
he's an alien.
super,
Yeah,
yeah,
but they gave him more like a young adult trying to find his way. But obviously he has bigger
hmm,
issues. He just has different issues than us, but he's still working them out. So I really like
yeah,
this take on it. I like Superman and like DC, so yeah, like I found it really interesting, and I really love the cameos and stuff. And I feel like it's gonna really set it up good in the future. But we didn't like need that,
yeah.
like we said earlier, for the movie to be good. So yeah, I have no complaints honestly. I my only complaint is I didn't like the comic book thingy, but I guess that's a thing. But not my cup of tea.
Come
But
on.
yeah,
The retro was
yeah.
cool. It was
uh,
nice.
Whatever.
Yeah. Hey, Kels,
Okay, Swizzle.
Okay, so I
innocent.
would
She's gonna say
also
innocent.
say
You
no.
gonna say
I
infraction?
infraction. Yeah, I'm gonna give it an
Infraction.
infraction. I was gonna say, Georgette, you made a good point. Something that I saw online was like in terms of like him kind of evolving in terms of how he's written.
Hmm.
They did say that he had a more human feel. Like they were seeing Superman play with
Yeah.
children for the first time. It's like, why haven't we seen him interacting
Right.
with kids? Like, it's the little things like that that go really far. I just feel like he's like our mascot, and he's gonna ignore all the children. It was really nice to see like that side
Hmm.
of him. And I agree. Like in the past, maybe giving, "Hey, I'm here to protect and serve," whereas today it was giving, "Why don't you love me?" kind of vibes. So I thought it was interesting and different. Um, I would say that the plot, the story, the acting, the Justice Gang, 8. The Lex Luthor, 8. Superman, 8. Lois
Hmm.
Lane, she 8. Everybody did their big
Hmm.
one, and so I was super happy with the way they used those characters and the time they were given. If you asked me why, or like if you were to ask me what could they have done to improve, I don't know. I think that some of the parts kind of humor wise maybe
Yeah.
missed the mark for me. I think someone said earlier like it's a little cringe at moments or corny. I feel like that is a big thing for me. And also, I don't know. If it's a movie that is innocent, I'll feel it. I just didn't feel this one was innocent, but I would give it like a little light infraction. Um and I think that's okay.
Hmm.
In terms of like the comic book thing, they never said, I don't think anyone said it was supposed to look like a comic book. I think that's just how we're seeing it, but I think that's okay. And I think that everyone's saying it in a positive light. It's very different than the other movies we see. Even the Marvel movies don't really feel that way, even though and they're like more colorful and they do use humor a lot. I don't think that they give that. This was genuinely like, wow, like I feel like someone's flipping pages for me. But overall, I would say it was a
Yeah.
good movie, and I like that we're all on the same page for once, like in our lives. Um, and this is growth. This is a growth moment for us. Hive
It
mind.
definitely is, especially after the last one.
3 for 3.
Wow. I'm very excited to see what they do with this in the future. I think that whether or not they do a sequel, I'm sure they've already talked about it, but it probably depends on like performance this opening weekend.
Yeah,
So I look forward to seeing what
yeah,
happens with that. But personally, I do hope that they run it back. It's the summer of movies, and we have so much. Like, we're getting fed so much this summer. And this was a
yeah.
great
Yeah.
add on to our summer movie, like, movies are back, summer 2025 kind of vibe.
You know what's next?
I Know What You Did Last Summer is up next week, but we do hope that you guys come
Okay.
back and join us because we have a lot to say about all of the movies all of the time. I do hope that we can all come to an agreement like we did today. This was a beautiful thing. It probably won't happen again for a while. So let's just enjoy it. But
Yeah.
let us know your thoughts if you agree, disagree, where you're at, and yeah, leave a comment. You can argue with us. We like to fight. So just let us know. But that's
Uh,
really it for this episode.
Thank you
Wrapping it
for
up.
watching.
Court adjourned.
Peace.